Here's a question that'll keep you up at night. Why do we human beings protect the people who are hurting us? It's ubiquitous. Look around. Why do we make excuses for perpetrators? Why are we loyal to abusive partners? Why do we make excuses for abusive parents? You ready? It's because we love them. When you're a person and these big people around you are behaving in ways that are bad, you have two choices. You can say, I'm at the mercy of these larger, maybe neglectful or hostile forces over which I have no control. Or you can blame yourself. If I was only a better little boy or girl, they would treat me better. And you know what's kind of odd? Blaming yourself gives you more of a sense of power than just being at the mercy of whatever the hell they do. And we love them. It's a combination of feeling sorry for the people who are actually dysregulated and attacking us or neglecting us. That's the love part. And wanting to regulate them. I need to keep mom out of her state of rage and escalation because she's going to turn it on me or my little sister or dad, and they're going to get a divorce and God knows what's going to happen. I am responsible for these irresponsible people I'm connected with. People treat you badly and you feel sorry for them. Man, I learned this deeply in my own life. As many of you know from my books, I grew up with a depressed, angry, raging, and unfortunately at times physically violent father who himself was raised by such a father. And I remember very distinctly as a little boy, when my dad was beating me, I felt sorry for him. I felt a tremendous sense of pathos. It was dark, it was sad, and I would take to my bed and just, I don't know, these were the seeds of a depression that I struggled with much of my life. I've often said I became a therapist in order to have the skills I would need to have the conversation I had to have with my own father in order to understand him and not become him. This stuff goes on and on from generation to generation until somebody stops it. In the work we do, we call this empathic reversal, and it's a universal aspect of trauma. We feel more empathy for the disowned fragility of the perpetrator than we feel empathy for ourselves. When I'm sitting with a client and they start making excuses, just like I did when I was a client. Oh, well, you have to understand, my dad had a dad who was worse than him. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what happened to your dad. What I care about is that little boy who is being strapped. Why don't you open your heart to that little boy? You've had difficult parents. Rather than confront them in a rage, which is understandable, how about this? Hey, Dad, what happened to you? Hey, Mom, tell me about your childhood. Growing up means that we stop being little people looking up at these larger than life characters called our parents, and we become peers. We become human beings to human beings. Dad, you can get so angry. Where did you learn this from? Mom, you can get so crazed. How long has it been like that? You can be firm and tell the truth with love and not harshness, but not like a little boy or girl, like a centered grown up. I want to have a relationship with you. Help me understand. That is transformative, healing, and frightening. My template, my model of being in relationship is I'm caretaking them. I'm up regulating the people who are supposed to be caring for me. And we take that caretaking kind of reverse position I care more about you than my own self, into our adult relationships in ways that really don't help us. We don't protect ourselves. We don't stand up for ourselves. I can't tell you how many often women will say to me, if I could get to that hurt little boy inside, I'm sure my partner would stop, ... Good luck with that. The problem is you are more in touch with that wounded little boy or girl inside than they are. It's not your job to heal them. It's not your job to love up that hurt little person inside, believing that if you love them up enough, the difficult, neglectful, irresponsible, hostile behaviors will just stop. Therapists believe the same wishful nonsense. Difficult, selfish, grandiose behavior has to be dealt with per se. You can love up the little boy or little girl deep down in the center of all of that one-up, obnoxious, hurtful behavior. You can love them up till the cows come home. That behavior is not going to stop that way. You're going to have to stand up for yourself. That will put the relationship at risk. And if it doesn't work, if you can't get through to them, which is quite often the case, great, Terry, tell me to stand up. But when I do, all hell breaks loose. Okay, fine. That means you need an ally. Get your partner into couples therapy with an RLT therapist who will not be neutral, not throw you under the bus, and stand up for you and get through to your partner in a way that you can't. That's okay. If you need help, get help, but get help that really helps. But meanwhile, protecting someone who isn't treating you well, telling yourself that you can do without love, cherishing, support is a losing game. It actually isn't safe. It just feels safe. I say this over and over again. It's almost always women. Women put up with behavior that no one really should put up with for 10, 20 years. And guess what? They get left anyway. And the partner on the way out the door says, oh, I'm going off with Shirley, 20 years younger. Shirley takes me on in ways you didn't. That relationship with my new girlfriend is alive in ways that our marriage hasn't been. And the irony, the horrible tragedy is they're kind of right. When you shut down and don't confront someone who's treating you badly, the relationship loses vitality. You're no longer telling the truth, and your own resentment has consequences. You dry up, sex dries up, generosity dries up, distance begins to take hold. Being silent is not a safer alternative. It's just a less upsetting one. Tune in to your own little boy or girl, not theirs. What do you need? And how, in a constructive way, can you go about getting it? Either on your own, if that works, or with the help of a therapist who will get your back if you can't do it alone. Remember, you deserve love. You deserve decent human treatment. You deserve a responsible partner on the other side of the seesaw who can listen to you, try to be pleasing, and act like a mature, loving human being. Nothing less will work. You can put up with it. You can live with it for a while, but it's not clear that you will actually keep the peace that way. Dare to stand up for your own little boy or girl and what they need. Stop being your partner's healer. It won't work. Have empathy for you and have a sense of loving but firm accountability about the way you're being treated. Have courage. Will it work? I don't know. Will being silent work? Hardly ever. Pick your hardness. Pick your pain. There's no easy answers to this. But as somebody who's been working with couples for 40 years, sitting still and feeling sorry for the person who's treating you badly will not get you anything resembling health or even stability in the long run. Take a breath, find an ally, and tell the truth. I hope this has been helpful. Subscribe to the channel by hitting the button below. There's a lot more where this came from.